Hello, my fellow witches, sorcerers, and other magical practitioners. My name is Aiden, and welcome to my channel. Today is going to be a kind of heavy topic, so buckle up. Today we're going to be talking about depression in occultism and witchcraft. Depression is a very prominent mental disorder in many spaces. It's not an easy thing to deal with, and I think it's really important that we talk about it, especially in the occult context. So first, we should probably talk about what depression actually is. Depression is a mental disorder or mental illness that causes people to feel a feeling of self worthlessness, feelings of sadness, feelings of anger as well, and often like feeling very hollow and empty. Depression is not just being sad for a few days. Depression is a long-term illness, and it can come and go in waves. Many things do, but it primarily is a very long-standing disorder. It does not just come when you're feeling sad. It is almost always present. And it affects people in many different ways and many different aspects of their life, but it's a very dangerous disorder, and it can cause someone to die. It could be driven to suicide and things like that. So I think it's really important that we talk about it, especially in the occult context, because occultism has a very not so good way of dealing with depression, especially for newer practitioners. And so I think that it's important that we talk about it. So how is depression viewed in occultism? Depression seems very often to be, it can be a result of occultism, honestly. It can be a result of not focusing on grounding, not focusing on meditation, not focusing on your basics, basically. It can be a result of that and trying to pursue higher things and then getting burnt out very quickly. That can cause you to feel more depressed. It can add on to your depression as well. Depression really affects people who have a daily practice as well. Because in occultism, a lot of people have daily practices, such as like daily meditation, daily prayer, a daily ritual, whatever it may be. And with depression, that can cause you to really lose that cycle. And ritual is really, really important for combating depression, actually. If you can force yourself to get up every day, get up and do work of some kind, it can really help out your depression because it's forcing you to do something that you otherwise wouldn't do and won't cause you to fall deeper and deeper down the spiral. But it also can combat that. It can make it harder to do your daily rituals, to do your daily practices, because in all honesty, depression is not easy to deal with, and it can cause you to feel overwhelmed very easily, feel burnt out very quickly. And in general, it's just going to make you not want to do things. It's going to make you feel inadequate. It's going to make you feel hopeless. And it's going to just weigh you down. Which is why daily ritual is also very emphasized, because it can help you to unwind that a bit, especially with daily meditation. Because if you daily meditate, then you'll be able to work through that a bit more, do some daily shadow work. Shadow work is also something that's very recommended for depression, but I personally believe that it's important to do other things alongside that. Like, if you can go on antidepressant medication, if you feel that it's severe enough for that, get conventional therapy if you can. Treating it alongside the more non-traditional is important. Do both at the same time, not just one over the other. I feel like shadow work is often like overhyped, I guess. Like shadow work is great, you should definitely do shadow work. But I feel like a lot of people will take shadow work and use it as their only option and will use it as the only solution to all their problems. I think that being applied so blanketly like that, like being applied like a blanket statement, is very not healthy. Because I think that you should definitely do shadow work. Shadow work is very important to do. But it's important to not only do that, but also get conventional practical therapy and medication, because those things exist for a reason, and mental illness is not easy to be treated on your own. You need a community to help you with it, which is why therapy helps out so much. Because there's only so much you can do on your own, and you have to be able to apply. That's the whole point of shadow work. The whole point of shadow work is that you're able to take a situation, deconstruct it, rearrange it, and then apply it to yourself and make applicable changes in your life. The other part of occultism and depression is that a lot of people try to bypass it with other methods of happiness, other methods of relaxation. People try to bypass depression by getting really deep into mysticism. This is coming from personal experience as well, so that's important to keep in mind. Some of this is my personal experience, but I have tried to bypass depression by going through mysticism, going into mysticism, and trying to get my happiness entirely from divine love. And I'm going to have a whole conversation about divine love in the future, but for right now, it's important to understand that you need human interaction. You need to focus on the physical, especially with depression. You need to find happiness in your personal day-to-day life. You need to not be trying to transcend the material when you're like really depressed. You need to be focusing on your day-to-day life. You need to be making sure you're taking care of yourself, and you need to make sure that you're doing some sort of daily ritual, magical or otherwise, so you are able to function as a normal human being before you go running off and trying to like become a mystic. It's really important that you understand why we have these things in occultism, why mysticism is important. Because mysticism definitely has a place. It does have a place in society and in occultism, but it is not the thing you should be doing when you're extremely depressed. Because you need to be getting other sources of help and therapy other than mystical sources. And that's not to say that mystical sources can't be tapped into when you're depressed. It should not be your first and only thing that you're focusing on. Another thing I also find people getting into is blaming spirits on depression, or blaming root chakra imbalances, or like heart chakra imbalances, and like other mystical things, when depression is a chemical imbalance in your brain for the most part. It's a very complex disorder, and it can be triggered and caused by other things. Like ADHD, for example, can be comorbid with depression. And it's just really, really offensive to say to a person that they are depressed because a demon is stalking them, or say that they're depressed because the Fae are taking over their life. I find that to be very offensive, personally. And I think that we need to recognize the psychological ramifications of depression and not go quickly blaming it on some mystical or magical source. Because that personally really bothers me. And while that's not to say that there can't be a mystical source for it, 9 times out of 10, your depression is going to be caused by something in your life or a chemical imbalance in your brain. And you need to work through that on your own, not trying to go mystic, magic it away. And that's the other thing too, is using spells to help in your depression. I personally am very iffy about that. I'm not saying that you can't do spells to like help aid your depression. It just should not be your go-to thing. You cannot cure depression with magic. You cannot cure any mental illness with magic. Because just because magic has psychological aspects to it does not mean that you can fully get rid of mental illness with magic. Anyone who tells you otherwise is going to scam you and is going to hurt you. This goes into like a ton of different things, like trying to cure autism with magic, trying to cure schizophrenia with magic. It's not going to work. You need therapy and professional help mixed with magic to work well with them. If you want to use magic at all, you need to be getting practical help as well. This is a very intense conversation for me personally, and if you feel uncomfortable at any point, feel free to click off the video. But it's also important to recognize that depression is a very big thing that many people suffer with, and it's important to talk about it. If you feel that, let's say you're in the coven, and you feel that your depression is really affecting your magical practice, you should talk with the other coven members and talk about getting a break and like trying to take time for yourself, because you should not be overexerting yourself, especially magically. Please, 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 if you are exerting yourself magically and it's only making you feel worse, do not keep doing that. Keep trying to find other sources of help. Because when you try to overexert yourself and go full mystic, especially like trying to follow a very strict religious view of mysticism, your depression will only get worse. And I think that it's very important for people to understand that depression cannot be cured with mysticism, it cannot be cured with magic, it cannot be cured by any sort of alternative medicine. In fact, it may not ever be able to be cured for some people, it just can only be treated for some people. I think it's really important to understand that magic can help, but it's not going to be the cure. It's not going to be the be-all, end-all for all your mental disorders and all your other processes. Meditation is great, but if you aren't getting professional help for it, then it may just get worse and worse and worse. So I personally think it's important to treat your depression, to treat your other mental disorders, and to make sure that you are understanding what you are doing, how it is affecting you, and why it's going to affect your practice. Because your practice is very important to you. I've never met anyone who's a serious occultist who says their practice is not important to them. Because it is. It's a huge part of your life. It's a key central part of most occultist lives. And to say that it isn't is just it's hogwash. Just complete and utter stupidity to say that someone's occult practice is not important to them. But your mental health is really, really, really important as well. And it will affect your practice if you aren't taking it seriously. Because if you don't take your mental health into consideration, your mental health will start creeping into your practice, and depression will start to take over, and will start to cause you to not be able to function properly as a human being, and will cause you to start to break down, and it just won't help you out in the end. It will stop you from advancing as well in occultism, and that's the biggest thing that will really hinder your practice. You will not be able to advance further because you're so stuck in one place because of your depression that you will not be able to move further. A lot of this is not me trying to be mean or rude. This is me coming from personal experience, and I think it's really important that people talk about it. Completely replacing your mental health with practice is not going to help you at all. It's important that you get treated, looked at medically and professionally and psychologically. Because depression is such a big disorder that affects so many people in so many different ways that if you don't get looked at through a non-mystical lens, you can fall apart very, very quickly. And for the most part, that's all I have for today. I hope you enjoyed. We're going to try next week to have some more lighter topics. But I just really felt this was important to talk about. So thank you all for watching. Stay tuned for the next one. leave your comments down below. I want to hear what you guys have to think about depression and occultism. We're going to talk specifically about depression. We'll have other videos eventually about other forms of mental illness that I know about personally. So yeah, leave your comments down below. Thank you all for watching. Have a wonderful day. I hope you all are doing all right. Goodbye.